Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Minecraft updates, because over the years Minecraft has received many updates. Starting around 1.17, the community started to have negative feedback for updates. Now, I'm not saying that it weren't a thing before, but since 1.17 it has been a lot worse. Now, behind all these blocks, I have got most updates in order with the year they were released, as well as the main features they added. And I will also have on screen a list of the features. I'm using a website which I'll have linked in the description if you do want to check it out and read about each update in a bit more detail. So let's start off. I'm starting off with 1.6, just because updates before this were a bit all over the place. So 1.6 released in 2013, and the main features of this update were horses, carpets, leads, and coal blocks. At this point, Microsoft didn't own Minecraft, so these updates weren't anything to do with Microsoft. Then, if we jump to 1.7, it introduced 11 new biomes and also stained glass. These biomes were things like the Mesa, which we now know as the Badlands, and a few other biomes. I will let you know when Minecraft was bought by Microsoft. It is here somewhere. If we now jump to 1.8, that is when that released in 2014, and that introduced ocean monuments, slime blocks, and also stone variants, andesite, diorite, and granite. In between 1.8 and 1.9 in 2014, that is when Minecraft was bought by Microsoft. And in 2015, there was not a single update. So jump into 1.9, which released in 2016, that added the End City, Elytra, and Combat. Then 1.10, which released in 2016 as well, released Polar Bears, Strays, Husks, and Magma Blocks. These updates could also release other features. I've just noted down like the big parts of the updates. And then 1.11 was released in 2016, introducing Woodland Mansions and Shulker Boxes. Now, I think one thing that we notice right here, 3 updates have released in 2016. But we've also got to remember, no update was released in 2015, so what they were working on in 2015 was probably these 3 things. And also, the fact the updates are quite small, apart from this one, which added like a whole new combat system as well as end cities and elytras. These ones, oops, I did not mean to break that one. But that only added like polar bears, and this one added a new woodland mansion and shulker boxes, so they're not like huge updates. Then jump in to 1.12, which was released in 2017. This added coloured concrete, coloured beds, glazed terracotta, and also parrots. And this was the final update before Minecraft started to do yearly updates, and they also was getting the community involved with the mob vote. Now, the mob vote is a whole nother topic that some people hate, or most people hate, and some people don't. But it was 1.13, which released in 2018, and that was the aquatic update, which added things like dolphins, kelp, seagrass, drowns, tridents, and a lot more things that brought the oceans to life. After 1.13 was 1.14, which released a year later, and this was the village and pillage update. This update completely revamped villagers, also villages, and it added the pillager, which is a new illager type, as well as crossbows, and it did also add pandas and bamboo. Now, in 2019, 2 updates released, and that is 1.15, which also released in the same year, but this one only added bees, honeycomb, honey blocks, and a few other things related to bees. It did also bring the cracking of iron golems to Java. That feature released in Bedrock a lot later. Then 1.16, which released roughly a year after 1.14, was the Nether update. That completely revamped the Nether, adding piglings, a lot of new biomes and blocks to the Nether, and also making the Nether livable. And 1.17 is where it starts to get a little bit messy, but I understand why. In 1.17 was being developed at the end of 2020, going into 2021. Now, obviously, behind the scenes, it was probably being developed way longer than that. It also came at a time where COVID was bad in most countries. So most of the devs had to work from home, and it wouldn't have been as easy. In 1.17, they promised a lot more than they could deliver in the time frame they were given. 1.17 was then split into 2 updates, also 1.18, which only released a few months later. But this is Caves and Cliffs Part 1 and Part 2. 1.17 added the Amethyst Geodes. It also did add Moss and Dripstone. but not naturally generating. You can only find them in other cases. 1.18 then revamped the Minecraft world as we know it, adding bigger mountains, also new cave biomes using the 1.17 blocks, but they did also scrap the Warden and Archaeology, which will come later on. Now in 1.19, which released roughly a year after 1.17, it was the Wild update, which added the frog, chest boats, a mangrove swamp, also with the wood set, and also the deep dark and ancient cities. This update released in 2022, and this update did also scrap some features like the fireflies, and this is when Minecraft changed how they done updates, going in to 1.20, the Trails and Tales, which released last year. Trails and Tales added camels, chiseled bookshelves, mob sounds on note blocks, as well as armor trims and sniffers. But in 1.20, they changed how they announce features. Now obviously since 1.13, they have announced features at Minecraft Live, which is a yearly event they host to talk about future updates and what's coming to the game. But in 1.20, they only announced features that were pretty much ready and that would release weeks later for people to test. They also have kept that with 1.21, which is going to release in 2024. We don't know the name of this update yet. Currently, it adds the trial chambers, the bogged, as well as the breeze and wind charge, and the crafter. But one thing that all of these updates have in common, we are just counting from 1.13 upwards, as 1.12 and below, they're not really that important. But from 1.13 upwards, they have all been free updates. You could download, as long as you owned Minecraft, which obviously Minecraft isn't free. If you own the game, Bedrock or Java, you get all of these updates for free. Now this can't be said for every game. Let's use another one of Minecraft's games for example. Minecraft Dungeons, before that was discontinued, you'd have to pay for most updates in DLC. Now there was some free updates, but most of them you'd have to buy. And that's not the case for Minecraft Java/Bedrock. Every update they have released has been free for you to play. And also at some point in the time frame, they did make it so if you own Java, you own Bedrock, and vice versa. It now comes with our updates recently not including enough, and I think they are. Comparing them to older updates before 1.13, they wouldn't really add that much. For example, this one would add Ocean Monument Slime Block Stone variants. We're going to ignore the 11 new biomes because that was one of the biggest updates. This one really only added horses, carpets, leads. If we was to do updates now, 1.6, 1.8, 1.9 would probably be one singular update. And yes, all of these were released quite close together, but I think that compensates for what they are doing now. Instead of 3 updates a year, they're just releasing them 3 updates all in one. But the main thing that I have seen recently, which made me want to make this video, is the bogged. There has been a lot of hate because the bogged is a retextured skeleton. Now, although the bogged is just a retextured skeleton, we've already got a few of them in the game. We've got the wither skeleton, we have got the stray, we have then also got the normal skeleton. The bogged is just one adding to that list. As for zombies, we have the zombie, we have the drowned, and we have the husk. They are all different versions of the same mob. And yes, they could be a variant. I think them being different entities is better in the long run, just because it's easier in a lot of different ways to use the mob and interact with the mob. This might just be how I look at things. But 1.21, let's talk about the update or the snapshot before the bogged was added. Everyone was hyped for the new wind charge item, which is a item that you can obtain from the breeze, that you can use to bounce yourself around, to use in PvP, to activate redstone from a distance, and also to do things like wall climb. Everyone loved this item, or the majority loved this item, and then they added the bogged the snapshot after. Not every feature is going to be a feature you like, and that is how every update is. I could probably name a feature from every single update that I dislike, but it doesn't make the update bad. We also don't know the full feature list for 1.21. I do understand that retextured variants are not something people want. A lot of people want uniqueness to the game, a mob that makes the game different, like the Warden. The Warden is a completely designed mob by Minecraft. I think the mobs the Minecraft developers make up are really cool. The Warden, for example. I think the game needs filler items and mobs that just fill in the gaps of the update. We've already got the Breeze, which I guess you could argue is a variant of the Blaze, but it's not at the same time. Yes, it uses the same model, but it works completely different. So my point from this whole argument is, I think that people are too quick to judge. We haven't seen everything that will be added in 121, and there are always going to be bad features in every update. For example, a few of the good ones from 121, we have got the wind charge, which I know everyone don't like, but it's a good item once you get to know. We are also getting the crafter, which will change the game forever, because farms can be automated a lot more with this. So although every update will have one or two features you dislike, I think people need to start looking at the features they like more than complaining, because complaining don't get you anywhere. Feedback is always useful, and the Minecraft devs always care about feedback. And one final note, Minecraft devs are humans too. They are just there doing what they love and their job. Most of the time, they don't even have a say on what gets added and what gets changed. But that is it for this video. I know it has been a bit of a one where I've moaned, but I think it's needed now and again, as people don't give updates a chance, and people are quick to jump on bad features rather than jumping on the good features and being thankful to Minecraft devs for the good features they add rather than always complaining about the bad features. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, do leave a like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys thought of this video, and let me know what your thoughts are on this whole topic. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.